snap on your backpacks and get ready for cute and chaotic family moments. The Sims 4 Growing Together expansion pack adds to every life stage. And before you ask, yes, elders got very little, but the hot question remains. Is it worth getting? At its core, this pack brings with it a range of new systems aimed at adding depth to your Sims' lives, and even more importantly, their personalities, because we all know the struggles that Sims can have defining themselves. Welcome, yep. Come in, yep. Have a seat. Yeah. Alright, to start, I'm just gonna get you to describe yourself to me. Well, I'm lactose intolerant. So tell me a little bit more. Yeah. And I like recycling? Yeah. Okay. Right. Back on topic, Sims of all ages now have milestones, and these can track both their accomplishments and their bladder failures. Because, you know, there are some things that we never knew that we needed to remember. While for most life stages, milestones are a fun way to track notable points of your Sim's life, like learning to ride a bike or passing out, for infants, this goes a little further. Here, milestones are used to make the life stage more dynamic, with them unlocking new interactions and becoming closer to a toddler in how they behave as more milestones are completed. And both infants and toddlers are further brought to life with a range of temporary traits that they can uncover during these life stages. Both good and bad, these could make your little Sims a bit less or even more of a terror to deal with. But most importantly, in my opinion, is that these temporary traits always make them feel a little bit different from one another. And this keeps infant and toddler gameplay feeling fresh despite the many dirty diapers that you'll be changing. Speaking of dirty diapers, you can finally stop throwing them on the floor now too, with changing tables and diaper pails added in with this pack. And Growing Together isn't just about the little ones, because social compatibility and family dynamics are also added in too. That's right, your Sims can now be almost as chaotic and three-dimensional as me. Now, social compatibility is brought to life by your Sim's likes and dislikes. If your Sim likes things that relate to someone they're getting to know and vice versa, then they will have good or potentially even amazing compatibility. And this will make it so that relationship building between them will come easier. The opposite is also true, and Sims can wind up with bad or awful compatibility with others if their likes and dislikes don't align. And this will hinder relationship building between them, kind of like if someone was to tell you that they didn't like baby animals. I know, weird. And what about these family dynamics? Well, depending on how Sims engage with family members, a dynamic can establish between them. You'll have to agree to it through a pop-up, and it can both positively and negatively impact on how Sims interact with each other. Perhaps they have a supportive or close dynamic, or it could be a distant or difficult dynamic. Maybe it's about having a laugh and being a jokester. When a dynamic is established between two Sims, this will change up how they interact with each other. Maybe they'll call less. Maybe they'll go out of their way to be more supportive. They might even crack jokes more often. These dynamics really do just make family gameplay and the relationship network that exists between families both deeper and more complex. Heck, those relationships will be almost as exciting as when I dance on my Twitch streams. And if you thought that was quite the recipe for more dynamic and engaging relationships, then know that we're not quite done adding in ingredients just yet. Sims can now go on a self-discovery journey and gain up to 3 additional traits based on their actions. Maybe they'll discover that they're a good person deep down, or alternatively that they're jealous, mean, and hate children. Sims can reach a max of up to 6 traits, and know that you get to approve or deny these. So if something boring comes up, like your Sims discovering that they're cheerful, you can just say no. Existing traits can also be changed. So for example, if your Sim is a mad slob but they clean with fervor, then they might just decide, hey friends, I'm totally neat now. And it's kind of neat, pun intended, that Sims can change based on their actions. There's more. Child Sims will now gain a temporary confidence trait, and whether this rises to high confidence or drops to low confidence before they age up will determine whether they have high or low self-esteem going forward. Child Sims can learn to ride bikes too, and even lose teeth. Well, they could lose teeth, but this is currently disabled because the Sims who lost them were aging up kind of like they were about to feature on an episode of Botched. That being said, this feature should return once the bug is fixed. There are 4 new and much needed child aspirations brought in with the pack as well, and unlike the base game aspirations that focus on a particular child skill, these are much more integrated, focusing on multiple skills and various aspects of child gameplay, whether that be creative pursuits, playing games, throwing raging slumber parties, and more. My personal take on these is that they are a lot more fun and generally have much better rewards than the base game aspirations, and I can't see myself going back to the base game child aspirations anytime soon. Like, who are these base game child aspirations? In the words of Mariah Carey, I don't know her. Excuse my very, very bad impersonation. Sims of all ages can experience 3 new events too, and these all feel a little bit unique and fun when compared to the majority of events in the game. Throw a baby shower and get showered with gifts and cannon-fueled confetti, or perhaps you'll shower your guests with sprinklers when you start a house fire. Then there's the slumber party, where you can stay up late, eat pizza, and have pillow fights with other Sims. Not to mention prank those who dare to sleep. It's a rookie error. Finally, you have family reunions. Here you can get together with your relatives and closest friends, take some pictures, and either be cute or chaotic. Each of these events come with unique rewards, from adorable baby cribs and toys to flashy sleeping bags and awesome collage picture frames. And these help to flesh out the unique identity that each of these events have. You might think that we're done, but just like a marathon runner, we are not. Sims can even experience a midlife crisis or face struggles at work now as well. There are just so many tweaks and improvements that add to almost every element of the game. And they do leave us with a question a few of you may be asking. Should Growing Together have been base game? To be honest, I'm on the fence. I feel the base game desperately needs excitement and more depth, and that is exactly what the features from Growing Together brings. But I can also acknowledge that all of the aspects to the game that Growing Together enhances does make it worthy of being its own pack. This being said, I would have loved for a few key features like milestones and social compatibility to be base game. Sometimes it can feel that Growing Together doesn't add a lot of content, and I think a reason why is that a large chunk of it is integrated so seamlessly into existing parts of the game, to the point where many of its features feel somewhat hidden. Despite this, almost every aspect of Growing Together has a huge amount of replayability, and the new elements it brings will impact on your gameplay every single time that you play, and they'll be especially important if you enjoy and privilege family gameplay. In my opinion, this replayability in itself adds value, as many other packs might explore a breakout niche in detail, for example active careers and business, a specific kind of occult sim, or celebrities and a fame system. And while these can be lots of fun to play, if you're not playing them, then all of a sudden most of the benefits of the pack are lost. With Growing Together, many of the pack's features will always be there, adding to and deepening your gameplay. Some features of the pack aren't sneaking around in the background, rather they're sneaking into your houses. Well, kind of, but not really. With the new Stay Over feature, you can invite other Sims for an extended stay of up to 6 days. You know, for if you wanted your personal space invaded by others. There's even a new community lot type, being the Recreation Center. It has so many uses, from being a gym to a study space, community games area, daycare, communal kitchen, music, and even art area. You'll likely start visiting it for absolutely every occasion and wonder why other lot types exist. The pack also adds in engaging objects like tree houses that inspire creativity, imagination, and, well, getting it on. Hopefully not right before your Sims children use it to play. There are objects to bring to life a water park, sleeping bags to use for camping or a slumber party, the slightly controversial change table that everyone was searching for in the base game, and the less controversial playmat that infants can all but live on. There are keepsake boxes too, which is literally a box for elders to put things in before handing them down to others. And these boxes can also be used to establish family dynamics of your choice between various Sims. That's right, more power to you. And of course, how can we forget the 6 new child bikes that all pretty much do the same thing? Am I still wondering why we got 6 of these? Absolutely. But that hasn't stopped me from making it my Sims life goal to learn to ride them. And who can forget the all-new games? Symbols is fun, but it's nothing like the satisfaction of completing and framing a custom puzzle before popping it on the wall. It's a bit of a weird flex that I'm here for, but what I'm less here for is the brand new world of San Sequoia. It's giving Willow Creek and not much else. Okay, there's a little bit more, including some rather pretty gardens and all new trails where you can send your sim power walking. There's even a rabbit hole cinema that sadly doesn't support woohoo moments, and I do think the cinema is a major plus for San Sequoia. Honestly, I wouldn't be buying Growing Together for the world, which only offers a total of 12 lots spread out across 3 different areas. It has limited lot space, lacks depth and engaging interactive features, and also fails to provide a unique look and feel when compared to the other worlds that already exist. And what about when we jump into Creator Sim? A lot of clothing added with this pack fits into the everyday theme, with some of it spilling into other categories. There's a good mix across all ages, and I'd say it has a largely fun yet cozy feel. There's a range of everyday looks that you'll likely make use of, and the fact that many of the clothing options are unisex means that male sims aren't quite glazed over as much as usual. Don't get me wrong, there are more options for the female sims, but at least the men aren't completely ignored here. There are lots of new infant outfits too, which makes sense for an expansion pack that was brought in moments after infants were added to the game. On top of this, hairstyles have been added across all ages, and while I think hair is an incredibly subjective topic, personally I'm a fan of most of them, with some rather unique hairstyles available. But the big question is whether or not the pack is worth it, and honestly I would say it is. It's important to know that many features will enrich what already exists, so it's not a pack that gives you heaps of completely brand new things to explore from the get-go. That being said, if you love family gameplay and in general find meaningful and more complex relationships between sims important, then this is a must-have. On the flip side, if generational or family gameplay isn't that important, or if more simple relationship mechanics are what you prefer, then you might want to pass on this. The build and buy is relatively strong, and the CAS objects are great for everyday play, seeing as they highlight comfortable yet engaging looks. That being said, the world leaves much to be desired, as it's small, has limited features, and kind of feels like it's having an identity crisis thanks to Willow Creek, Newcrest, Brindleton Bay, and Copperdale. San Sequoia, who is she? Overall, I've given this 19 out of 25, and I feel that it's a good option to pick up rather early, just because of how wide-reaching and replayable its features are. And with that, we're at the end. That's a review of the Growing Together expansion pack. If you enjoyed or found this helpful, then please subscribe and leave a like. I would really appreciate it, and have an amazing day. See you later. I look fabulous. Rocking this blonde bob. I don't know how girls do it. I do not know how girls do it.